Welcome to the Henry County Commissioners meeting for May 26th. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and a short prayer? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, bless our country, bless this county, and watch over the proceedings of this meeting. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. We will now take a short recess to conduct the business of the Board of Finance meeting.
Okay, first thing we need to do is elect officers. We need a president and a treasurer for this year. Is there a motion for a president?
I will nominate Steve Dellinger for president.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. I will also nominate Bill Upchurch for treasurer.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, now to
Go ahead
get
and
the
give us the report, Bill.
yeah, the report is basically getting a hold of all the banks, checking our interest rates for the year. It's not good anywhere. The best we come in with any bank is 0.25% right now, and I continue to kind of watch it, and it's not been doing anything. It's pretty stagnant. So I suggest we just kind of stay where we're at. And I'm trying to keep watching the interest rates, and if anything changes, hopefully it's for the better soon, and we can move forward then.
Do you need a motion to stay?
I guess. I mean, if you guys want.
I'll make a motion that we stay with the current financial institution and allow Bill to watch it, see if there's any changes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
And one last thing, since I'm up here, give you a little bit of an update on our tax collection this year. Spring of 2020, we collected right at $21 million. Spring this year, we've collected around 23. And we still got a little bit of late mail coming in, so that may change some, but we're ahead of the game from last year. I think a lot of people are using their stimulus money wisely. A lot of people are paying for the year. So that's kind of helping out. Hopefully it continues through the fall.
So that 23 million,
Yep.
that includes people who have paid for the whole year.
Yes.
So when you give the report for the collections at the end of the year, they may be less than they normally are because
but
more people.
our tax rates also have gone up and assessed values have gone up, so taxes have bumped up some. So there's a chance we'll collect more by the end of the year we did last year as a whole, because with taxes going up and the state changing our tax rates. That's all
Thank you.
I've got.
That's all you have?
Yep, we can adjourn this meeting.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
The Board of Finance meeting is adjourned. We will now resume the Commissioners' meeting. Have the Commissioners had a chance to review the minutes of our last meeting?
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to accept the minutes passes 3-0. Have the Commissioners reviewed the payroll?
Make a motion to accept payroll.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to accept the payroll passes 3-0. Have the Commissioners reviewed the claims?
Make a motion to accept claims.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to accept the claims passes 3-0. And I guess
pennies up.
For is that here with the business builders in Knightstown, and we don't have any specific report, but we can answer any questions that you might have. Anyone has?
Anyone have any questions for the EDC? Hearing none. We have several items that we're dealing with as far as our insurance company goes. We had a few problems in the Justice Center across the street when the power went out and the power was turned back on, or possible lightning damage. They have all been turned into our insurance, and we have a quote from Automated Logic for $10,950 to make one of the repairs in the Justice Center. Then we also have another repair blamed on the same power outage for $9,431, and that repair is to be performed by Piney Engineering. We have another lightning or power surge problem that we had out at the YOC Center. And that is covered by insurance, I believe, minus the deductible. Total cost for that, which the lion's share will be paid by the insurance company, is $39,867. So there aren't many of you here, but the ones that are here might think about getting insurance for being struck by lightning.
The first two, the Automated Logics and the Piney for the Justice Center, those will be paid out of the building corp if insurance does not pay 100%. Youth, the YOC, True Harbor, $39,867.
And we also, the last one we have is from Triple J Plumbing for $312.25 to repair backflow valves in the courthouse here. Any questions about any of those claims?
Do we need to do individual motions for each one? Would you, okay. So I will make a motion that we accept the quote for the repair of the Silent Night fire alarm panel at the Justice Center by Automated Logics for the amount of $10,950.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. We're going to do each one? Okay.
I will also make the motion to accept the Piney Engineering quote for $9,431 at the Justice Center to remove and replace the variable frequency drive on the supply fans in the Justice Center as well.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
You gonna do them all, Bobby?
Go ahead. You're on a roll.
I'm on a roll. I make a motion to accept the Piney Engineering quote for the Youth Opportunity Center, the electrical damage repairs for $39,867.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
And I will also make the motion to accept the quote for Triple J Plumbing to do the backflow repair as well.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next thing on the itinerary is a notice to municipal or county officials. It's relatively short, so I'll just read it. It is from the Indiana Department of Environmental Management. Pursuant to Indiana Code 13-15-1, this letter serves as notice that the Indiana Department of Environmental Management, IDEM, Office of Water Quality, has received a sanitary sewer construction permit application on May 7th, 2021, from Mr. Bruce Aaron, owner, Trailview Addition, Newcastle, Indiana. If approved by IDEM, the permit would allow the applicant to construct sanitary sewer for Trailview Addition in Newcastle, Indiana. If you have any questions concerning this application, contact Missy Nunnery at 317-232-5579. I don't believe we have to take any action on that. It is just to inform us that that is happening by IDEM. Next, we have the coroner's report, and it is also short, so I will read it. The following will contain demographics of gender, range of age, manner of deaths, total of autopsies performed, and a total of decedents requiring no autopsies. 48 total deaths from January 1st, 2021. 11 total deaths from May 1st to May 25th, 2021. 7 of the total deaths were male, 4 total deaths were female. Age range 30 to 80. 7 of the total deaths were natural manner of deaths. 4 pending autopsy reports. The above numbers will change once the autopsy and toxicology reports are turned in by the pathologist. 3 of the 11 total deaths did not require forensic autopsies, including toxicology. 8 of the 11 total deaths did not require autopsies or toxicologies. Any questions? We have a number of change orders to approve. They have already been approved because we cannot hold up construction of the jail, but these come in, like I told last month, on a routine basis. Some of them don't cost the county money. So far, we have not done anything that has gone over the jail budget, so we are well within the budget provided, but things change as we go along. They find things that underground that have to be removed, or we learn something about the project and it has to be changed for the better, and we are keeping those costs down. So does anyone, I don't think I want to read all of these, but does anyone have any questions about potential changes to the jail plan? Then do I have a motion to approve the change orders?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to approve change orders is approved 3-0. Department reports. Is anyone here from the health department? All right. Coroner is not here. Mr. Copeland, do you have some things to present from the Highway Department?
Good evening. First item, the easiest, is I have a title sheet for the sign project for the county, the federal aid that we're getting 90-10 split. And the title sheet needs signatures so they can submit it on to NDOT for final review. And so I'm asking for signatures this evening. This project and another project will be going together, and the only way you can tell that is up here it says, and there's a note on here that talks about, it's what's called KIN.
Oh, I saw that over there, KIN project.
Yeah, it's a KIN
Information.
project with another project, so they're combining two of the sign projects, the one in the central part of the county and the one in the eastern part of the county, into one bid, which makes it easy. So here's the, I don't know if you need them in blue, it's just in case.
Now you're being picky.
That's in the,
This is such a big paper, why didn't you use big pants?
well, I thought about that, but that's about, I didn't want to go too big.
You must date it too.
I can't look
Right here.
I will submit this back to the engineers.
I make a motion to approve the title page signatures to go back to NDOT for the signage.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Next item is that we wanted to, we're trying to purchase 2 building structures for salt, the whole salt. And they had submitted a quote, you had approved the quote, signed the quote, sent it back, and then, lo and behold, a while later, they send us the terms and conditions. Well, the terms and conditions were quite lengthy and quite restricted. So Mr. Shields went through it and struck some of these terms out. And what I'm asking for you to do now is sign it with those terms stricken out, and I will submit it back to the company, it's called ClearSpan, to see if they'll accept those changes.
What we had there, what we had there was they called it a master contract agreement, and it covered both. There were 2 structures, it covered both of those, and the master contract also contained 2 exhibits. One was for the warranty on the roofing material, and the other was the warranty on the framing material.
Mm-hmm.
Primarily, the concerns were as follows. One, what we call choice of law. If we have a dispute with them, they want us to come to Connecticut and file a lawsuit either in a federal district court there or a county court. Now, the name of the county escapes me in Connecticut. And that just, I have a hard trouble with that. There's law procedures set for determining those outside of a contract, and once you agree to it in a contract, you've agreed to it. The other thing is limitation on damages. I forget the total cost of both structures. It was how much?
30-some thousand.
Okay. And they want to limit any damage you could receive from them for any reason whatsoever, even including a defective product. If it injures someone and causes hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of damage, they want to limit it to $30-some thousand. And again, I just have trouble with that. And then they have some other limitations in there that we've struck out. I tried to make the language in there fair to both sides. Oh, one was another one. If we breach the terms of a contract, they can collect attorney fees, and we specifically authorize the court to grant that. But it's not the other way around. You know, if they breach it, we can't do anything. So I made that both ways, and so it's try to be fair there with it, and we'll just see what kind of response we get. I was a little surprised that we get something quite that lengthy and onerous, I guess. When we, you know, if they want to do business with us, we'll do business with them, but we got to be fair about it too. So we'll see how we get along on that.
I will make a motion to approve the contract as modified by Mr. Shields.
I will second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
This is for the purchase order. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
The highway annual reports are due, and I've put them together, or the annual report. I have copies for the commissioners, and I need a signature for me to keep on file, and I need a signature, and Debbie will want to keep one, I'm sure, also. So I need 2 signed. These are to be uploaded once they're approved and signed to LTAP at Purdue. It doesn't matter. Here's the original.
I have one here.
Oh, you have the ones for sign? Okay. I'll make a motion to accept the annual report.
I will second the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Do you need several copies of this signed?
Here's Debbie's copy. This is your copy, Debbie? Yeah, this is Debbie's copy, so.
And then the one I upload is just printed.
Okay, so there's your. And this is Debbie's copy?
And that's all I have this evening. Any questions?
No. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Memorial Park, did you have anything? No, because we can't hear you.
Yes, you can.
If you want to talk like that, you can stand here.
Just a couple of things. So on the Memorial Weekend, on Sunday, approximately 2:45, Rolling Thunder is going to be coming into the park. For those who aren't familiar with Rolling Thunder, it is a group of veterans who ride their motorcycles. They go around and they give a lot of information on the POWMIA. So they're also going to dedicate the POWMIA flag
I thought you and Joe were going to work together on that.
Well, all three of us, Joe and Steve and I all met, and that's, we agreed on 30 mile an hour. So that's, I was just kind of waiting to see, because that has to have an ordinance done in order to pass.
Do you have a description of the roads that you'll be applying that to?
I don't have it with me, but yes, I do have
Yeah.
one. I can send it to your office.
We need to put it in the ordinance to make sure it's
Yes.
clearly defined, yeah. Thank you.
That's all I wanted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other county office have a report?
I'm good.
Okay, we're on to new business. We have a letter of support for the Department of Corrections JRAC grant. The commissioners signed a letter for Department of Corrections. They apply for a grant every year, and I suppose I can quickly read that letter. Dear Mrs. Lightfoot, the Henry County Commissioners would like to submit this letter of support for fiscal year 2022 DOC JRAC grant, which is being submitted by Henry County Probation Department, Henry County Community Corrections, and Henry County Jail to enable them to provide additional resources to supervise moderate and high-risk offenders, and to provide additional programming as identified to the client's individual needs in our local community. The collaborative plan calls for the Probation Department and Community Corrections to work together to supervise clients, provide services such as substance abuse treatment, trauma-informed therapy, and treatment individualized to the needs of the clients they serve without duplicating services in conjunction with the Henry County Jail. We support the two departments working together to maximize resources and to better serve the designated clients in our community-wide while keeping public safety at the forefront. The grant funding enables departments to seek out additional evidence based on programming and training opportunities to better serve their clients going forward. After reviewing the scope of the targeted areas to be addressed by this partnership and collaborative plan, the Henry County Commissioners would fully support the efforts of the Henry County Probation Department and Community Corrections in this continued endeavor. Thank you for your time and consideration for their grant application. Henry County Commissioners.
I'll make a motion to accept this letter of support and sign this letter of support for their grant.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Letter of support passes 3-0. Next item is the comprehensive community plan for Aries. It's a rather lengthy plan, so I will not read that, but I will read the vision statement. Aries exists as a community agency that partnerships with other efforts to improve healthy lifestyles in Henry County through prevention, education, treatment, and enforcement of substance abuse issues for youth and adults. That's the vision statement. And then the mission statement is the mission of Aries Henry County Substance Abuse Council is to develop, coordinate, promote, and reduce the problems associated with substance abuse in Henry County in order to enhance family and community life, to work cooperatively with the community and area agencies on behalf of its youth and adults to reduce substance abuse through intervention, education, and support. Do I have a motion to accept the comprehensive community plan from Aries?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to accept the comprehensive plan passes 3-0. Third item is actually, it looks like the budget for the Aries.
Oh, yeah, you could just, that's all part of it.
Well, I could tell them,
That came loose. That's all.
right, but I could report what the numbers are. Total funding approved by Henry County is as follows. For prevention and education is $43,410. For treatment and intervention, $25,033. And for criminal justice, $31,801. And administrative costs are $1,700 for a total cost of the program of $101,945.29. Any questions? Next item is a resolution establishing the policy by which members of the Board of Commissioners of Henry County, Indiana may participate by electronic means of communication. I guess this becomes necessary because of what we went through last year and part of this year. We are just establishing rules for in the event of another statewide or countywide emergency, what are the rules for having things like Zoom meetings, et cetera, in order to conduct our business. And this is a resolution that spells out those rules. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
I make a motion to approve it.
I have a quick question. This resolution is not necessarily concerning if we have another pandemic or emergency. We can use this now.
You can be used anytime. The effective date, I believe, is maybe June 1 on that, but there are some rules, as Ed mentioned. One is that a member of the board can only do that so often, and I think they cannot do it any more consecutive than maybe 2 times, and there has to be a break in there. A majority of the board, in order to use this statute, a majority of the board, a quorum, must be present at an actual meeting. So if, for you folks, it would take 2 of the 3 to actually be here, for a third to participate by Zoom. And then those are the 2 main ones, a quorum, and you can only, there's some restrictions on how often you can do it as a member there. So I don't think it really takes the place of the pandemic, but it's one that is developed out of the pandemic for best practices. But Ed's right, there are certain rules that need to be applied in order to participate that way.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to accept resolution number 2021-05-26-009 is approved 3-0. Next item, do we have someone here? Is Jesse Russett here? Welcome.
One moment, Jesse. I will get your presentation up.
Is there a way to control it from here, or have to yell it? Yeah, okay.
See how fast that
All right, well, just to introduce myself, my name is Jessie Ressa. I'm with Indiana Landmarks. I'm the Director of Eastern Regional Office, and our office is in Cambridge City at the Huddleston Farmhouse. I was requested to come here to just present to you guys about potential funding opportunities for the annex building that's directly west of the courthouse here, in light of considering rehabilitation of the structure, and also in consideration of ownership of 3 different scenarios. One, for the county to maintain ownership for it or any government entity. 2, for a nonprofit, what considerations for those, and then 3, for a private entity if they were to take possession. Let me click through. So I'm going to go through a lot of grant programs that are available for both the government, nonprofit, and private individuals. You don't have to remember everything. If you have any questions, please ask them, and then you'll also have this, so you'll have my contact information too, so feel free to shoot me a question. So the major grant available for government entities is the Community Development Block Grant. I'm sure you guys are all very familiar with that one, and the Public Facilities Program Grant. Although this grant is currently paused due to the COVID-19 situation, we're hoping that it's going to come back in 2022. This grant is excellent in enabling local governments to do historic preservation for buildings that they own. It's been used actively within Henry County already. If you click to the next slide. The Hoosier Gym Community Center, that's owned by Knightstown, and they did use that funding source to do a lot of the rehab work that was done on that building. It's upwards of $500,000. Can you go back to? It's a $500,000 grant max. I believe you're going forward. You're good. Right there, the next one, yeah, that one. The one right before it.
Oh, right before it?
Yeah, sorry. That's okay.
From there?
Yes, yeah. So these are submitted annually. They're in different phases or different rounds throughout the year. The first round has been announced, and it does not include the public facilities, so hopefully we'll just wait and they'll open this one up again. These are federal funds, and I will discuss a few different grant programs that are funded through federal means. And as a result of that, anything that is done on the annex building will have to be reviewed both by the National Park Service and locally through the Indiana Division of Historic Preservation and Archaeology. They'll coordinate with you on those repairs. This funding is excellent, though, because it can be used for exterior as well as interior work to stabilize that building and rehab that building. So this is a very good funding source. It's a lot of money compared to most grant programs. So if the county is interested in keeping that property, this is one that you should actively pursue going forward. Can we go forward? Yeah. So now I'm going to phase into government funds, but also nonprofits. The previous one, the CDGB, was not open to nonprofits, but this is. This is the Historic Preservation Fund. This one can go up to $50,000. It's a 50-50 match. So if you want the $50,000, you have to put forward your own $50,000. It is available for governments, but it's also available for any nonprofits in the area. The submission deadline for this is in October. Again, this is federal funds. This has been used within Henry County, but they have used it primarily for archaeological surveys, not for preservation projects yet. But this money can be used for preservation. So it's another pot of money that you guys would be open for. And you can stack these available grants too, so you don't just have to pick one pot to go from. So, next slide. Some additional funds. There is a USDA grant. It's the Community Facilities Grant. I have personally never used this grant, but it is out there. Newcastle and Henry County would be eligible for it. Due to your population size, you would have a 65-35 match requirement for it, but there's not listed a maximum grant amount. So, your project could be $1 million, and they would cover 65% of that. So that's good. These have rolling submissions from them, or for the applications. They are federal funds, so you will still have to go through the same review process for what work is done on the building. And then also to kind of breach into what our organization offers, we have 2 programs through the Ephraimson family. We have Endangered Places grants. This is a small scale grant. This is one that is usually about $2,500 to $3,500, and it's used in the beginning stages to cover costs for like condition assessments or feasibility studies for the building. So we will cover 80% of that total cost up to $3,500. And that is helpful in determining, one, what the condition of the building is, what your priorities are for fixing, and how you could potentially use that building. We also have, out of that program, a loan program. Can go up to $70,000. We have given it to municipalities and local governments before, so we could offer that to you as well. They have favorable loan terms, and then those funds have to be used for rehab on the building, so no other outside costs. And then we also do have the Ephraimson Family Fund, named very similar, but it's different, and that's a $15,000 grant we give out on an annual basis. And we are looking to do 2022 will be the application for that will be March 2022. And there's no match, that's just cash to do rehab work. So next one. Excellent example of someone that used all of these resources within Newcastle and Henry County is Preserve Henry County, just down the road on the Broad Street project down there. They used a loan from us for $70,000. They received one of our planning grants for the $2,500 to assess the condition of the building. They also worked with the local RDC and were able to receive a $200,000 grant from them. So they're a wonderful example of how partnership can really open up all these different pots of money that are available. So next slide. So specifically just for nonprofits, this would not be open for government entities. You do have the Henry County Community Foundation. They have funded projects in the past for historic preservation. What I noticed is it typically ended off about $15,000, but it doesn't have a cap listed, so there could be additional funding available there. And they have spring and fall cycles. Next. And a good example of that work being done within the county is just down in Spiceland. It's also Preserve Henry County again. This is the before picture for the Wilson's grocery store, but they received a grant from the Community Foundation to replace those windows. So bleeding from nonprofit to private, there's a little bit of overlap there. A very popular and very competitive grant within Indiana is the Historic Renovation Grant Program. This can lead up to $100,000 max award for it. It is a 50-50 match, so if you put $100,000 in, you have to request, you'll have to put $100,000 in. It opens in July, and then you have to have it submitted by August, and that's when they will dictate who is awarded the grant. And then these are also federal funds, so you do have to collaborate with the state on reviewing those actions or rehab work to make sure it's good. And then you also have the Newcastle Redevelopment Commission. They have a facade grant for $15,000. That's a 50-50 match. Click, or next. And then just considering, as a private individual, what is the last remaining resources for them. And it really is just the federal historic tax credit. It's 20%, it's an income tax credit for 20%. In the past, it was just a lump sum tax credit, but now that 20% has to be spread out over 5 years. It was changed in 2017, I believe. These are still considered federal funds since it is a federal tax credit, so you will have review from both the state, who will kind of locally administer the larger program, which is run by National Park Service, but then you'll have to coordinate with IRS too. So, next. And this is a really good example. It's not in Henry County, but this is a good example of a project where it wasn't owned by any sort of municipality or local government. No nonprofit could take that large of a project on. So they did have an investor with a lot of capital invest in that project, and they did benefit from the 20% income tax credit. So, next one. And all of this information is really just to better inform the county on what they want to do with that property, and that's why I came in and just tell you what resources out there. So I've kind of broken it down of just the grant funds comparison of what money is out there, who can get it, and what the max amount is. So each one of these amounts the grants available that you could potentially get, it's over $500,000 if it stays within the county's hands or any government entity's hands. If it goes over to a nonprofit, you have just under $200,000, and if it stays within a private investor or private industry of any sort, then you're just looking at a little over $100,000. And I think what's really important to draw here is that each specific entity is open to getting certain pots of money, but if you guys are able to partner together in any sort of fashion, you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. So some of those grants could have been accomplished while the county maintains ownership for the annex building. They could do a portion of the work and then transfer the property to a nonprofit who could then apply for additional grant funds to do more work. So I'm just here to point out the different directions that you can go, what resources are available for you, and answer any questions about any of it. And that's my contact information. If you don't have questions now, you're more than welcome to call me and ask me.
Thank you, Jesse.
Well, looks like we do have several options. We'll probably be talking to you about these again in the
Okay.
future. Were you also involved in the recent application that came in to have Ball State take a look at the park?
I briefly discussed it with some interested parties. I wasn't part of the application. I had grant funds set aside that we could cover the survey that they were wanting to do out there, but that was largely it. And
That one expired?
It expired, unfortunately. We had to have a letter from the superintendent that the project
Right.
was approved.
Is there anything that within these grants that might still be available for that project?
Not-
Because it was about $3,500 is
Yeah.
what they need.
There is a potential for an African American Heritage Grant that might be able to be applicable to that. That would just depend on who was interred in the burial grounds, and I'd have to have more information about that. But nothing in that packet would cover it. The grant amount that I was going to use actually it is in that one. It's the Ephraimson Family Fund grant was what I was going to use to help fund that survey. So it's the one that's upwards of $15,000.
Right.
Yeah. So
And it
that's,
had no match.
yeah, with no match. So that one,
That's only available once a year?
yeah, so that will be March 2022, next year. It'll reopen.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, thanks a lot for coming.
No problem.
You guys have any other questions?
Oh, thank you, Jesse. I'm sure we'll be calling you again. Do you want an electronic copy or do you want hard copy? Take the hard copy?
Okay, it looks like the last thing on our itinerary is the IT purchase to be paid out of the 2019 GO bond, security request, and Commissioner Plummer will outline what that's about.
So this request proposal is from Jeff Lutz, our network administrator, to request to replace firewalls, switches, all through the buildings here. In 2020, apparently the IT committee presented a request for life-size cameras, switches, firewalls, at a total cost of $110,000. Only about $10,000 of that money was used due to the pandemic. So his question, and as we were going over it, the total cost to replace everything here in the county is approximately $250,000. And there was allocations made out of the CARES funding that's no longer CARES, that's in the general fund, and an allocation for the GO bond as well, totaling about $250,000. And his question and my question, and that's probably a Debbie answer, is those funds would still be available for us? It's not we all know it's not, yeah.
We would have to go for an additional appropriation.
And we would just have to go through the council to get that. So he was seeking our approval to move forward with the council to replace the network, all switches, firewalls, routers, upgrade all of that throughout the county.
I make a motion, we approve that.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. And I did miss one thing here. There's one more item on the itinerary.
We're going to let
What's that?
Martin's going to talk about that.
It's an item that has to do with authorizing Henry County Hospital to acquire some land, and I believe Mr. Shields has something to say about that.
Yes. There is a project that would be possible if everything can be put together, pieces put together, and for the hospital and foundation out there, the hospital foundation. And one of those pieces of the puzzle involves a piece of property, the intersection of State Road 109 and 07. It is the address is in the resolution area. But it may need to go through condemnation action, and in order to do so, they need retain an attorney to do so. I think the best practice would be to allow the hospital foundation to authorize, be responsible for, and pay for their own counsel for that, since they're actually, the interview is putting money forward on that. Why would that be so? Because I think it avoids conflict of interest, if you have a possible conflict, if I continue to do so, you have to represent you. And there are actually two parties involved in there. One is the financing arm and one is the county arm. So I think in order to keep that separate and clean, I would suggest that you pass a resolution authorizing the foundation to retain their own counsel for the purpose of eminent domain action, and that they can be solely responsible for the duties and costs associated with it. That is my recommendation.
So if I read this statement here, we could vote on that?
That would be a good motion.
Okay, then, motion that provides something to the effect that we need a motion to authorize Henry County Hospital at its sole cost and expense and with counsel of its choosing to initiate eminent domain proceedings in the name of Henry County and the Board of Commissioners to acquire the real estate known as 6543 South State Road 109 for hospital purposes. Do I have a motion to do this?
So moved.
I will second the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. At the intersection of by 70 and 109. At this time, is there anyone from the public that would like to speak? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
Here's all of our signature stuff to get back to Debbie tonight. Hang on, Mr. McCord. Oh, wait, we gotta turn off the light.
I'll get it.
You guys here, not over there.
Not in jail?